Hello to week 4 of September 2024. September 2025 coffee and card using the sunflower embossing folder, and we're back to ink swiping again, but this time we're using coloured paper but white ink instead of the other way around to get this sort of effect, which I really like. So we're using designer series paper. Now I have given you a 12 by 12 piece, not 12 6-inch square piece. It's a full piece of designer series paper, so you will need to chop it down to 12.5 centimeters. Okay, so now I've already cut mine down and embossed it. The thing with this technique is to get a more depth, you need to do a few layers of the white ink pad, and your ink pad needs to be nice and juicy. Just a side note, if you don't have a white ink pad, you could go back to using the nail file, which has run off. So using a nail file or the buffer block just to take off the top layer, because our designer series paper is white core, you will get that effect again. So if you don't want to use white ink, you can do that, but if you've got white ink, I have a play. Okay, but re-ink your pad before you start. So because you have to do it in several layers, I've already embossed and started mine. So those are your pieces you've got left. And so I've already done 2 layers on here, and I'm just going to come back and do a third, just to intensify the colours, as I say. And because it's not a pigment, it is a pigment ink, it's not like our water-based inks, it does take a while to dry. So I did a layer, went and did some stuff, came back, did another layer, went and did some stuff, set up the video, and I'm going to do a third layer now. Okay, so I'm going to do that first. So when you're embossing your pattern paper, you want to be able to see the side of the paper you want and the logo. Okay, so when you're putting it in, you want it that way. Okay, emboss it and then do 3 layers of ink. So pause the video, go and do something else, come back, do another layer, come back, do a third layer, and you should be about there. So I'm just going to do the third layer now. Now I'm also, this time I have remembered to get a post-it note to hold it with, so because it does take a little while to dry. So I'm just again using this edge, not the thicker edge where you put the name of the stamp pad, if you can. I put mine on the top. Oh, I haven't put it anywhere on this one. Right, so I'm just coming back in, just light strokes going across the card. And now, because you're only using one colour, you can go in different directions. So I'm just taking that edge across and just picking up the white colour. Okay. And as I say, it will take a little while to dry. So I've just sort of been randomly doing it all over the place. Again, starting off the page and coming on. Don't start on the page because you end up with lines. Oh, put that away. And just look at that, it's gorgeous. It will dry a little bit fainter, but I've put more layers on this one than I did on the original one. So you can see the designs a little bit better on that one. So these are the faceted iridescent gems, and they are on the, at time of filming, they were on the last chance list. So hopefully there's a few left because they are really nice. So this is a good way of getting colour onto the embossing folder. Another way, if you want to channel your inner Van Gogh, literally all I have done with this is colour it in using blender pens. So I've just literally coloured the bits in using the blender pen. So you could like maybe just colour in one of the sunflowers, or just to use a spotlight technique, or just colour all of it in. So I just had a play. I haven't done a video of this because you can imagine it took forever to do, even though I was doing it fairly quickly. So if you like colouring in, this is a good one for you, that you can have a go at just colouring in the whole of it. And another technique that I've not done is to emboss it on a coloured card and actually cut one of the flowers out. Is another way. There's so many different techniques people have been using with this embossing folder. As I say, I could have gone on for weeks, but I only do 4. So, because I don't want you to get bored. Right, so we'll just pop that over and put some glue on and pop it together. And you can do this with any designer series paper. This is the Full of Life one, which again comes and goes with inventory problems. I think they're having some inventory problems with the Full of Life paper. Sometimes I look and it's not available, and other times I look and it is. So, right, okay, I'm just going to turn that over and press it down, because it is still a little bit damp. Okay, and then I am going to pop it on the card, and again we're still fiddling about working out which way up it goes. I think I like that with the blue in the corner, sort of the hint of the sky. That's balmy blue if you wanted to use, and I would say that's probably Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist and Pumpkin Pie. If you wanted to use a different stamp, I've used, this is Shaded Spruce, and I've used the ink to do the stamping with that, but you could use any of those, or you could use a crumb cake or a grey or whatever you've got in your stash. And then this is a 13 centimetre square of Shaded Spruce going onto a 13.5 centimetre square card blank. Do like, although I have been meddling with a 7mm difference between layers, which I also quite like. So again, I'm going to get that roughly in place, and then, so I don't want to get fingerprints everywhere. Okay, and then I have already stamped my greeting, which again I'm going to pop there. So I am going to put, now I'm going to put dimensionals in 4 corners, because I'm then going to put the faceted gems in the corners, and you want the dimensionals under them to support them if you're like putting them through the post or anything, so that they don't get, the label doesn't get squished. I think I'm going to put one in the middle as well, just to be on the safe side. There we go. So I'm just popping, whoops, let's pop it the right way up in the corner. So we'll be moving to Christmas cards in October. Woohoo! Although I am actually filming in August, and I've been making Christmas cards for weeks already, as I'm sure most of you have. And iridescent faceted gems have disappeared off the face. Where have they gone? Oh, there they are. Hiding. So you just put big ones. So I've given you 3 in your kit. I've got dozens of pokey tools, but can never find one when I need it. So I'm just putting 2 in one corner and then 1 in the bottom corner. So that's 1. 2, and then the big one at the bottom. So I hope you've enjoyed these series of cards and have fun with these embossing folders that can do so much. Okay, and I shall see you next month for some Christmas stuff. Take care. Bye.